Hey adventurers, Jonathan here at Night Knowledge. Today we're looking at Curious Expedition 2. You've seen this on my channel before. It's an adventure strategy RPG game. This is actually a sneak peek at the new DLC, Robots of Lux, where the release date is tomorrow, Thursday, September 15th, 2022. It's about $7 Canadian, probably $5 US, and this is a free key from Lorenzo of Mastician Mensch, the developer, so thank you for that. Before we proceed, you can check the description below for a full feature list of what to expect in this DLC, and I'll also include a link to their Steam page as well. You're also going to see some content from their other DLC, which I did get a Steam key from them as well, for the Shores of Taishi. So let's jump in. So I believe these two I guess leaders, Lina and I don't know how to pronounce that, we'll call this Moyo, that they, I believe, are from the Shores of Taishi DLC, while for the Robots of Lux you get this character here, which is a naturalist, allowing you to recruit new animals into your team rather than actual people. And then you have Piper Faraday, who's a robot explorer. I believe it's a cross themes of a different game, and your whole team's going to be robots instead. So in today's video, I'm going to show off obviously this Robots of Lux DLC, and we're going to do the Robot Explorer gameplay. And then tomorrow, you're going to see the Naturalist gameplay. So let's jump in with Piper Faraday. You can always click regenerate if you want to change the looks of the characters. Quickly looking at the characters, we have Piper Faraday, the robot captain. We get +5 sanity per robot in a trek. So the more robots, the better. Also, if we have a gun, then we have increased damage. And all these robots are going to have this kind of permanent debuff passive. So low battery. So we'll talk about this in a second, but if she has this debuff on, decreases the capacity, also decreases max sanity. So we want to avoid having low battery on our guys. Bioenergy. Okay, so then we have Billy Gill, which is a robot brawler. Increases natural repair rate of fellow robot companions. Increased heal speed of 30%. Looks like he is lepidopterophobia, which is scared of butterflies and moths. Fantastic. And he has low battery as well. And then we have Valentine Butterbolt, a robot sentry. And I believe that's he can craft batteries every 39 days, which is what we need to be able to charge our robots. And superstitious, so we got to watch out for superstitious fears. Okay, so let's start the game. So this is Paris, France in 1886. I looked out upon the exposition grounds with a smile on my lips. Malin had chosen me to uncover the secrets of the island. I vowed to not let her down. My heart pounded with anticipation of the fame and glory that lay before me, but first I would need to hire some assistance. I was approached by a strange figure that seemed somehow familiar. It was only after recognizing its robotic motions and voice that I realized that it was none other than Edibot, wearing a clever disguise. He let me know that, as an intrepid explorer of the strange islands, I should make my way to the derelict old theater just outside the exposition grounds. The disguised Edibot had gone as quick as he had appeared, and I wondered what would wait for me in the old theater. So, with the DLC, there will be this new location, as you can see here, the old theater. And I entered the seemingly derelict theater to find it filled with all manner of mechanical devices. Was this some kind of Lux workshop? Edibot, wearing its clever disguise, welcomed me and told me about the march of progress that was being achieved here, all in a tone that almost sounded excited. The robot was more than willing to share that progress with me as a means of field testing it. In return for expo tickets, Edibot would offer me both advanced equipment and unparalleled constructed companions. Furthermore, if I needed more space in my trek, Edibot would let me leave one of my companions here for as long as I wanted. So as you can see here, we have the option to recruit more companions, including this, what's it called? This robot chameleon, which acts as a mount, increasing capacity, decreasing chance of being seen by monsters. And yeah, not bad, but I can't afford it right now. And then we have items that we can purchase, including, say, a plasma spider for the hand. So it's kind of like a weapon. Same thing with the PR3S5. The newest technology in robot journalism captures action-packed moments and will in turn grant you fame. We got the buzzsaw, which is good for going through jungles. We got an improved Tesla coil. Looks like this is for the pack animals. A vigor challenge bonus, +5. That's amazing. And a shield belt, which actually, what's this person's name? Piper Faraday already has. It's a belt or armor that increases armor by 15 and also causes retaliation. So that's good. There's some field kitchens, which I was playing this before I actually did this video, and this is a field kitchen, which is really amazing. Basically, once every 40 days, you can cook one meal, which will, I believe, give you about 10 sanity, which doesn't seem like a lot, but that's just free food all the time. It also makes your cooked meat that you get from killing like animals, it gives you more sanity. And don't forget, all your items in the game can be upgraded with expo tickets, so this can be quite powerful near the end of the game. As you can see here, one of the new things as well is the battery. So these are those things that we're going to use to charge our robots when they're debuffed. So we'll need 5 though, which I think is a little bit expensive, but hopefully down the road I will either find that that's not the case or that is. And then it comes with a map, which allows us to dig up or find the location and dig up hopefully some cool treasures. But that's that. And the last thing is the ability to cryo freeze some of your companions. So maybe if you're mid or late game and you have a really good character and you still think you can win the game without them, you can freeze them so that in a future game you can pick up that character. So we're not freezing anyone right now. So we have new one. Let's take a look at the Broussole Casse, which is the bar or the tavern. I entered the famed Broussole Casse, the broken compass, and surveyed my surroundings. Renowned as a meeting place for would-be explorers, it was a likely place to find eager adventurers to join my trek. So let's see who we can recruit. I gave word that I was looking for brave souls to join my expedition. Soon I had gathered a small set of candidates to choose from. So we got a field nurse, cook, and sailor. I don't think any of this is really worth it, any of these guys, but they are free. So you know what? Let's pick someone up. Let's take a look at my team. So what I'm looking at is so this is going to be, this counts as 1 die with, it has two of the 6 faces has a green, 2 and another 2 has red. So we got, and this one is 1 die with a 4 and 6 chance to get a red. And lastly, one that's pure blue. So I am slightly stronger in red, and I have no green, or 1 green. I'm weak in green. So if I can find a character with green like Claudette Montagne, I could probably do that. Excuse me, I'm a little sick, but trying to get this out to you guys today. So let's see. I'm going to go with the cook, just so that I can have an extra die with green. Okay, so we're going to confirm. Okay, morale would be greatly improved with a master chef such as Claudette Montagne in our crew. Okay, so let's select an expedition. As you can see here, there's still the 3 different societies or guilds. And I am in I'm in a competition right now. I picked the wrong team, but I'm with the Lux Labs. Every week, I believe or so, there is a competition. The more people play for their selected club, then you could earn a cap cosmetic item for your characters and gain additional rank, which is used to unlock things. So let's just go quickly to the Hatter. And this is where, oh, you don't have a hat that can fit a robot? You are just mean. Okay, let's go select an expedition, get right to it. In the days leading up to my expedition, rumors have been circulating about new islands that have been found, similar to the one Malin had stumbled upon. So sifting through these rumors, I planned my course based on those that seemed the most likely to contain grains of truth. So we have a few different options: trials and triangulations, difficulty rating of 1, and budget of 65, where we'll get 5 exposition tickets, and I believe that's 30 rank. Map in stone, once again harder, better budget. So this one is, we have to find standing stones. This one is, don't know, take survey measurements, or the golden pyramid. That's not bad. I forget what this symbol means, but you know what? Oh, I think this symbol indicates that this is from the DLC. Because, so I'll show you actually this one, because this one will show you the shores of Tashi, one of the new biomes. Okay, well, we're going to play for Lux Lab. It was my last night in Paris, and I decided to celebrate over drinks. As I sipped my drink that evening, I was approached by Wang Fei Hung, the legendary Chinese physician and martial artist. Starstruck, I chatted with the celebrity about the inconsequential things for a while before he introduced the topic of disappearing islands. I smiled and deflected, pretending I knew nothing. Fei Hung pressed harder, but I would not reveal Malin's secret to a complete stranger. Eventually, he grew impatient in the face of my evasions and bid me good night, striding off with an air of irritation. Eccentric fellow, if I say so myself. So I believe that person's going to be my main competition, or the main antagonist in this campaign here. My ship arrived, encountering a small supply vessel. I wonder what Lux Lab had in store for me. The shopkeeper hailed me loudly and handed over a small package, a gift from Malin, first aid kit, torch, and chocolates. For my first solo expedition, I was sure it would prove useful. Okay, so we start off with some extra chocolates, which is great. Let's see, what do we want? One of the things I like about Lux Labs is that they have this. They have 2 fresh lemonades, it seems, per mission that I can buy, which is the same cost as typically chocolates, which, as you can see here, chocolates usually only restore 10 sanity each, whereas these, for the same price, will give you 20, so double. So I'm going to take that, and then I can use sake, but that will decrease my max sanity, which is really bad. You don't want that. I'm going to buy some colorful marbles, which will be good when I interact with any locals, and then I'm going to buy some tonics. Let's see, tonic costs $5 each. I'm going to go with the greens, because greens and blues, because that's what I'm weak in, or that's what I'm lacking. Can I go for that? No, I can't go for that. Okay, so I'm going to go deal or no deal. My provisions chosen, I considered if there was yet more to be done before I landed on the island. Let's begin the expedition. Ancient legends told of a great golden temple on the island that loomed ahead, a massive ancient thing and made of pure gold. I was to find this legendary structure, adding to the already substantial honor of Lux Labs. Okay, so this, as you can see, is a new biome, once again provided from the DLC of Shores of Taishi. Not specifically the one for this this DLC, but still something new if you just have the base game. Let's see, so this character, as you can see, also starts off with what's called a mechanical composting kit. I can interact with this at, I believe, any time, and I can decompose one of the organic items and turn it into batteries. So speaking of batteries, as you can see, my characters, at the beginning of each expedition, my robot characters will start off charged. And giving them bonuses. So Piper Faraday gets a finesse challenge, +1 to green rolls, +1 to red rolls, and +1 to blue rolls, which is really good. It says 15 trips remaining means you have 15 movement selections, not like 15 steps. It's this is if I just went to this location right here, that would count as one trip. If I selected all the way here, that's still one trip. So basically 5 choices before I run out of charge. So with the robots, you want to be more efficient with your moving. You're moving further rather than making short trips. So let's see. We have to find the Golden Pyramid. It looks like the map is just here. So it's likely it could be here. But remember, you're also referring to the compass. The compass is 100% accurate on this very first expedition, meaning that it's probably actually over here. So let's move here. Travel. And remember, if you're new to the game, sanity is being tracked up here in the top right. As you get lower in sanity, bad things can happen. So you don't want to be running on low sanity. That's why you have things like chocolate and other food items that will restore your sanity. Otherwise, once again, the bad things can happen. So let's take a look at this unknown location right here. And this is a shipwreck. Let's approach it. I came across an astounding discovery. The wreck of what looked like an old merchant ship. I couldn't help but wonder how it had come to rest here. The ship looked like it might still contain valuable supplies, but the rotting planks of the vessel would make the search quite dangerous. Too dangerous for me to do it. So we have 2 options, search quickly or search thoroughly. We'll do search quickly since this is only my first expedition and my characters are not very strong, meaning the dice that I use will not be very good. The ship appeared too dangerous, and I didn't want any injuries. I contented myself with a crate that had fallen outside. Oh, I don't even have to do any, any rolls. Okay, so that's that. I imagine the Golden Pyramid's still there. So let's go talk with these wild Tanukas, which is, once again, a new islander faction that you're going to find in the Shores of Tashi DLC. Let's go talk to them. Oh, there's 2 of them. As you can see, there's different islanders there. So let's approach the wild Tanukas. We investigated some strange noises coming by from the nearby forest. We were greeted by strange animals that walked on 2 legs, cutting bamboo with unusual blades. They called themselves Tanukas. One of them, seemingly the leader, looked wide-eyed at my group and asked if we were strong fighters. They hadn't had a good brawl for days. Can we recruit, maybe? Some of the Tanukas stepped forward with an attempt at a dashing smile. One asked if I might have room for one more member in my trek. He wanted to see what lay beyond the endless sea. Ooh, buttons? Let's see, reduce. Let's see if they all have. So they all have the same, things over here. Let me see, and the same die. And so let's see, reduce surprise attack chance and has a chance to prevent them fully. Ooh, nice. Attention chance -5. Understanding challenge bonus +1. Nice. And then what's this? Belly drum. The sound of a Tanuka's belly drum can attract all kinds of attention. Oh, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Anyways, let's see. So that's buttons. This guy over here is sprinkles. This guy's fuzzy nose. So right now, what I'm looking at then, since they're all about the same, I'm looking at feels that people from uncivilized are inferior. Okay, I'm looking at their debuffs or their quirks, their bad quirks, to see which one is the least harmful to our team. Prejudice against the opposite sex. I don't think that should matter. And then kleptomania. So we're gonna go with Sprinkles because Sprinkles, he is prejudiced against females, but we're robots, so that should not matter. Sprinkles, please join us. The Tanuki jumped up and down in joy. He couldn't wait to leave. The leader of the Tanuki's clan turned around to his clan, and before I knew it, they were gone once more. We quickly looked around to see where they had gone, but there was no trace of them. How is this possible? Oh, that's okay. It's okay to have the extra the extra. I thought I had too many people. Let's approach the islanders here. The island did not fail to surprise me as I found myself in front of talking peafowls. Peafowls. They seemed curious, albeit not necessarily trusting of my presence. Their clothing featured elaborate embroidery, and unlike anything I had seen before, the vibrant dyes beautifully complemented their even more colorful plumage. I was eager to find out more about this island and its inhabitants. Surely this could not be the only occurrence of a masterful artisanship. I'm going to go for ask about their village. They told me about the nearest settlement, giving detailed directions for the route. I thanked them and carefully updated my map. The group of warriors marched away, standing tall and proud as they went. Okay. So it revealed an island village over there. And this is... Oh, I gotta be careful not to make all these short trips. Because as you can see, each trip is reducing one of the little bars right there. So I have to make my trips a little bit smarter. Ooh, that was a mistake. Actually, I shouldn't be doing that. Okay, let's see. So where am I? I'm gonna go... Let's approach the islanders again. This giving me experience, so this is all good. I met with some islander pilgrims in our travels. We greeted each other warmly, but the language barrier made things difficult. We quickly fell into an awkward silence. Somehow, the awkwardness reached a breaking point, and I began to snicker. My laughter was infectious, and soon both sides were laughing uproariously. The encounter left me thoughtful, but I had to press on. After a short farewell, I got moving once more. Okay, so let's move forward. My guys are getting tired. Okay, so we have 10 stars this experience. I can level someone up. Now, I'm cautious with leveling anyone right now for the fact that in my very first mission with the robots before I played this, I lost someone because they got mad for some reason. So maybe I want to level up Sprinkles. Let's see if I do Sprinkles, increases the health and some damage, taunt damage. Nah, nothing that seems interesting. So let's approach the shrine. A forgotten temple stood bathed in light before me. Near the shrine, I saw the distinctive tubules marking where needle plants could grow. Inside was a small, shadowy chamber. A long hallway led to the altar room ahead. I would have to be careful of traps here. So I'm going to search for secrets. As you can see, when you do a challenge, you're going to use the die from your companions and any gear, and you're going to roll them. As you can see, 3 of my 5 die have no chance in getting these green requirements. 1 is required to succeed, and if I get an extra green, I get a bonus. But luckily, and as you can see, I do have 2 die that has a chance of getting green only in 2 and 6. So that's a pretty low chance of even, like that's less than 50% chance of even getting the required. But I did buy some, what's it called? Some gear, some bottles that, and this search thing, which will allow us to pass it no problem. So I'm actually going to do that so I can get, sorry. So when you use these consumables, it will give you a die where every single side is a success. So it guarantees your success. So it doesn't matter whether these give me greens, I will not only succeed, I'm going to get the bonus of searching in this area. And is good, because if I did not use those 2 things, I would not have gotten any loot, because as you can see, those 2 die, we didn't get it. So let's so we got the better loot. Beneath the debris, I discovered a hidden trap door in the floor. Opening it, I saw a second gloomy chamber beneath this one. I lowered myself into the hole, landing lightly on my feet in the hidden area below. The space below the entry chamber was damp and mossy. I felt earth beneath my feet and could hear water dripping quietly. Several odd mushrooms sprouted in one corner. Let's gather them. So we have keen-eyed mushrooms, which increases our view distance, and introspection mushrooms. These will overcome one's mental afflictions. That which is all those bad things that my characters have, it'll cure them. So I'm going to actually pick them up and probably use them. I picked up a few of the more colorful mushrooms, recognizing their strange properties. When I could find no more, I climbed back through the hole in the entry chamber. We carefully entered a well-preserved ceremonial chamber. Markings on the wall warned that disturbing the altar could result in a sudden proliferation of needle plants in this region. So let's investigate what's on here. It has golden figurines. It's worth 30 gold or 30 rank. So if we take it, something bad's going to happen. Those needle plants, I don't know whether it's going to cause them all to sprout or whether it'll spawn areas that can do it. So let's figure that out. As I took the treasure, great spiky plants burst through the flagstones, disrupting the foundation of the shrine. I fled the building as quickly as I could. Also notice, when you steal from these shrines, you lose standing with the locals. Valentine also got upset because he is what's it called? He is superstitious. I have to be very careful now. With Valentine upset, his loyalty at 1 out of 4, there's a chance he's going to leave us. So let us use this. We assembled camp to better consume the mushrooms, so I can take away one of the bad quirks to our guys. I am going to take it away from Billy Gill. I don't come across too many butterflies and moths, but at the same time... I'm going to do it. Billy Gill ate the mushrooms and was shaken by the foul taste. He fell into some sort of trance for several hours. Afterwards, he couldn't stop smiling, so we got rid of that negative quirk. Now, let's get out of here. Look at this. I can use a belly drum, so we can attract enemies to us, but we don't need that right now. I'm going to drink a fresh lemonade to restore some of our sanity. Let's get out of here. Let's teleport out. Okay, so now we have to get out of here as quickly as we can because we are getting decharged. We could go to the village, but they don't really like us, which means when we get to the actual village, they may require something of us. I don't want to give away anything at this point. So let's go. Let's travel 43. That's fine. Okay. Oh, there's a trader. Let's approach that trader. To my surprise, I encountered a colorfully dressed traveling merchant. He gave a wide grin when he saw me, placing a bulging pack full of wares to the ground. He hesitated before presenting us with a selection of his wares. It seemed that he had acquired goods from the west out here in the wilds. So let's see. He has some discounts on the weather balloon and dynamite. The thing is, a lot of things doesn't transfer over from expedition to expedition. Only typically gear. So let's see. Anything that I can afford though. Colorful marbles, that doesn't work on these guys. Let's see. Yeah, colorful marbles does not work. Chronometer decreases. Let's see. Whips. Swamp. Nah, I don't really want any of that. Maybe the jewels. Nope, the jewels. Keen eye mushrooms. So I could get that. You know, I'm going to pick that up. Our business concluded, I ventured into the wilderness once more. So I need to drink the water lemonade so we get back our sanity. See how the font is red? I believe more bad things can happen when it's like that. So I'm not going to risk losing this guy, and I am going to go here. Perfect. And before we leave this place, I'm going to use the introspection mushroom since I haven't seemed to lost that other character yet. I'm going to give it to Valentine Butterbolt because we will be visiting a lot of superstitious type of places. Okay, so we got rid of that, and now we can approach the pyramid. The Great Pyramid towered above me, glinting in the sunlight. There was a strange quality to its architecture that I've never seen before. I was barely inside the temple, but scorch marks showed the signs of a long ago struggle. Intriguing. I congratulated Sprinkles, but instead of excitement, I saw regret. He feared what derogatory treatment would face him in my world. So let's try to persuade him to come join us. We're going to need two successes. Unfortunately, we can't drink more than one of these bottles. So I'm hoping that this die over here will give us the 2 blue dye that we need. Ooh, yeah! Nice. My tales of adventure and daring appealed to Sprinkles, and he agreed to come back with me. Triumph! Alright. So at the end, you get your rank rewards, some exposition tickets, and then if you bring back any provisions, you get bonuses for that, and treasures will give you additional expo tickets. And then you get to pick a perk at the end of each mission. Let's see. Gain sanity each time robot is charged. Strong sanity or jungle explorer. I'm gonna go with more max sanity. Upon my return to Paris, a street urchin delivered a note from Malin asking to meet in her office at the rear of the Brussels Casse Tavern. I entered Victoria's office at the arranged time and found her waiting impatiently. As I told her of my journey, her eyes shone with excitement. She peppered me with questions, intense in her hunger to learn every detail of my expedition. Hours passed before she was satisfied. Eventually, Victoria revealed that she had been collecting reports and that the machine we had found on that first island seemed particularly important. Now, the thing is, we skipped the prologue because I believe it's always the same as just like a tutorial. So there was a special machine that has special characters. She needed to go, but pressed a handful of expo tickets into my hand as she escorted me out of her office. These were good as gold in this area, particularly at the Explorers Club. So let's take a look at see who we can recruit. We got a missionary, we got a treasure corgi, and we got a Roma trader. And I don't want any of them. I'm gonna leave here. Now I have 18 tickets, which is pretty fantastic. But I am going to go to the old theater here, and we're going to view robot companions, and we are going to recruit. Party full. Okay, let's see. Is there any equipment maybe I want to get? Is this a gun? Does this count as a gun? Not a gun. Plasma spider. I don't think that counts as a gun, nor is this. I don't think these are considered guns. Because remember, Piper Faraday has a 20% damage when she does have a gun. Let's see. I'm gonna give this person that has better loyalty the improved chronometer, which decreases the number of days per tile moved. Okay. Now I'm going to leave that. Let's take a look at Lux Labs. Upgrade equipment. Let's see. No, I don't want to upgrade equipment. I want to look at the club shop. Let's see. So these are equipable items. Here's a gun. Electric protection, overcharged battery, and a stun prod. Looks like there's someone that I can unlock at rank 14. So I'm getting there. I can almost unlock a new character to recruit. I don't want that. So let's see. Let's look at the Taishi Academy. We can train characters, basically leveling them up. Let's see. Low sanity rest threshold. That's good. Okay, that's good if you fight. No, we don't want that. And let's just take a look at the Royal Avalon Society, what we can buy from the shops. Let's see. We can give them armor. We can Talwar. This might be useful. Decreased. This might be actually very useful. There's the Lady Jane Treasure Corgi. Parminder Singh. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to cure some ailments. Let's see, Sprinkles. Hold on a second. You know what I'm going to do first? I'm going to get rid of my cook. I'm going to dismiss you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. And now we are going to pick up that, what's it called? That robot companion. We're going to get Mr. Timmy. I'm sure I wouldn't regret my purchase. Edibot dressed in his clever disguise, waited excitedly for his next chance to present his inventions. So as you can see here, we now have Mr. Timmy, which is a robot chameleon, increasing our storage capacity right here by 1, which is very important. Like near the end of the game, you're going to be picking up so much stuff, and you're unfortunately going to get overburdened. When you're overburdened, you can't move. So you have to drop stuff, and I hate dropping stuff. So down the road, I'll be able to get a saddle, which allows me to sit on top, and I believe that will decrease the movement costs. Still have 10 tickets left, so I am going to I'm going to cure some ailments. I'm going to remove the sexism of Sprinkles. Doesn't matter too much. You know what? I'm actually not going to do that. I am going to go to the Taishi Academy and level some people up. I'm going to level up Sprinkles. Okay. That's cost 5 tickets. Okay. And then I'm also going to train another character. I'm going to train my Mr. Timmy. I was surprised. Okay. And great. So now if we take a look at our characters, oh, he's automatically leveled to level 2. Okay. So I'm going to level up Billy Gill. This will increase health, increase the damage of his abilities. There we go. I'm going to promote you, Mr. Sprinkles. There we go. That increases your loyalty as well. Oh, you know what? I should have leveled up Valentine Butterbolt. I didn't realize that leveling them up increases their loyalty. There's a high chance we're going to lose Valentine in the next expedition. Okay, so we have 3 more expedition options. Let's see, Golden Pyramid or Trials and Triangulations. You know what? I'm going to keep going for these special ones. Actually, we've already been to the Celestial Shores. I've showed you guys that. So I wonder if I should do this one. Terra Incognita bonus. So I think this will give us extra, as you can see, extra bonuses. It is a little bit on the harder side. Here's a prehistoric island. You know what? I'm going to do this so that we can get some more rewards. It is a little bit harder, but at the same time, I don't like the prehistoric island biome. There's a lot of places that can hurt us and damage us, and we don't want that. We're going to go with Lux Labs once again. And as was tradition, I made my way to the bar the night before the expedition was to set sail. As I entered the bar room, I noticed 2 people standing near a table speaking loudly. Apparently, they had caught the largest fish imaginable that day. Getting myself a drink, I settled in to listen. They went on and on, describing the thing's length, width, color, and the fight it had put up. They were both so proud of their catch that I had to smile. As I lay in bed later that night, I hoped that my own discoveries would make me as happy as those 2 gentlemen. I pulled close to the island, meeting up with my supply vessel. Lux Lab had provided me with a modest budget to outfit my trek. Okay, so let's see what we have. Go for lemonades as usual. I like these as well. These granola bars cost only 10, but they give 15 sanity, which is also a very good value. I used to love whiskeys, but in this game, it has a backfire chance. And I think in even the original Curious Expedition, whiskey gives a lot of sanity back, possibly the most of any food, but there's a chance that could make your guys alcoholics, meaning that they will get their loyalty will go down if they don't have alcohol once in a while. So I don't like being reliant on alcohol. So let's see. I'm contemplating getting this guy right here. 15 bucks for this. So a phonograph, as you can see, increases your sanity by 10, and it will attract wildlife, but it has a cooldown of 15 days. So every 15 days, I can get back sanity, 10 sanity, for free. So that might be a good thing. I'm going to take that. And then I'm going to grab these greens as usual, since they're on sale. And the rest of my money, I am going to spend... Let's see, 2... Technically, the food cans is the better price, is the better deal. For every 1 gold, you're getting 2 sanity, whereas you're getting only 1.5 for granola bars. So let's do that. There we go. Perfect. Okay, let's go. My provisions chosen, we begin. I'm going to refill water twice. Usually when there's an option to refill water, that means there's going to be a desert biome, and you want to avoid, or not having water, it'll cost more sanity to go through. Okay, so let's see. The Dry Highlands Inlet. Oh, doesn't look like there's very far that we can go. Okay, let's see. We have to find stone circles. How many stone circles, though? I'm going to go here. Okay, so I'm going to approach the islanders first. Who are these people? They reminded me of salamanders, yet they walked upright like humans do, and I could see the wisdom in their eyes. I'm going to ask about their village, and that'll give me an automatic scout location and some experience. They told me of the nearest settlement, giving detailed directions for the route. I thanked them and carefully updated my map. The islanders gave me the blessing of their mighty god before sending me on their way. So there's their village. If I want to, I can go there. It looks like there's only one way to travel around this place. I have to go around this way. But this ferry can take us possibly probably to here, this spot there. So I'm not going to approach the elephants. Let's see, I'm going to approach the ancient circle, which is my objective. This can't just be it. I approached the first of the stone circles. According to legend, the first piece of the map would be found there. Pulling forth a large roll of paper that I had brought for the purpose, I carefully copied the etchings on the stones. My map was beginning to take shape, so I do need to find another stone circle. Okay, so now the question is, where do you think the other stone circle? It must be in this area. I can't imagine it being here. That would just be too convenient for it to be. So you know what? I'm going to use the phonograph to get my sanity right now. And then I'm going to head off to here. Okay. We're going to approach the ferry station. And what's his name? Made a battery. A sea turtle let out a strange croaking noise as I approached the strange structure. The ferry master laughed hoarsely and asked me where I'd like to go. So it only looks like one location right now. And yes, I would like to go there. The ferry master gave a wet chortle in the back of their throat and began gleefully to negotiate for passage. So, what am I going to negotiate with? Food cans? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, that's expensive. But I should be able to do it because it's not a very big map. Okay, new region. But I'm going to level up now, Valentine Butterbolt, in the hopes that this will increase loyalty. Better give me a loyalty. There, it does. Okay, so promoting does increase their loyalty, which is what we need, because if they have low loyalty, they're going to leave us. Okay, so we're good with that. And now, let's see, where do I think this next place is going to be? I'm going to go, let's travel this way. So we did find some butterflies. What do you think is right here? Oh, a monolith. Okay, I'm going to use the phonograph. And then I'm going to approach this monolith. The monolith towered above me, its glossy surface unlike anything I'd seen before. It was as if the dark island fog had been captured in solid shape. As I lay my hand on the surface of the monolith, a shock coursed through my body. Images of the island flashed before my eyes, too fast to take in. Places I had been and places I had not. My mind scrabbled for purchase in the flood, and slowly I forced myself to focus on image of a single place. So this allows me to teleport anywhere. I can't see any other question marks. And I'm hoping that the thing is right here and not over here, because I don't really have too many resources. I'm going to actually go on top of this plateau, and that will allow me to see. Okay, so it looks like there's something over here. we're going to approach the stone overhang. I came to a natural arch of stone. It would serve as a basic shelter against the elements. I instructed the trek to halt. This was a good place, and I was sure I'd get some well-deserved rest here. When I joined the campfire, Sprinkles and Billy Gill were talking. They were sharing childhood memories, remembering good things to get through hard times. They were astonished by everything they had in common. Together they laughed more than either had for weeks, and a stronger bond developed between them. Oh, they're in love. That's cool. Robot love. Okay, so as you rest, we're regaining some sanity, which is good. I woke with the dawn, watching the sunrise with contentment. The overhang had proven to be a perfect camping spot. Okay, so let's see if this is the place we need to go. That is not the place we need to go. Problems. So that's a problem because we are going to have to go through this place. Either the things here or the things here, but most likely we're going to have to fight these hyenas. Well, since we're here, we might as well approach the shrine. A forgotten temple stood bathed in light before me. A nauseous smell was lying in the air. It was probably coming from the fumaroles in the distance. Inside was a small, damp chamber. A long hallway led to the altar room ahead. I took a breath, keeping an eye out for traps. Let's give it a try. Come on, two, yeah! In a small, shadowy alcove, I noticed a brief glint of light shining from the gloom. Treasure. We found a silver goblet and a tribal artifact. Take all. I stashed the treasure and considered my options. We're going to enter the altar chamber. We have found the altar room. Let's investigate the altar. It has some pearls and golden goblet, but it's going to cause poison in an area where we're going to have to walk through, so we are not going to be doing that. So let's leave. Okay, so I guess time to... Well, let's study this tribal artifact. The artifact depicted a powerful god, a single almighty divinity. In some ways, it reminded me of Christianity, except, of course, that it was obviously false. So let's see. I think that is good. Now we're gonna have to fight this hyena, so we got to be careful. And I also have to be careful that my robots are halfway through their charge. I also don't want to get ambushed by the hyena. So if I moved any further, the hyena would have attacked us and get a free attack on us. But instead, we're going to attack him. And thank God it's only one hyena. Okay, so this is combat, if you haven't seen it in a while. These are our die. We don't have many. Uh-oh. Okay. And I'm going to re-roll my one die. Let's go. Come on. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what options we have. We can taunt, increasing armor. We can electrocute. Target all allies. Gives us strength. I don't understand that. Deal 9 damage, electrocuted. Or electrocuted. Weakness. Or heal. I'm going to do... If I do this and this... Okay, so whenever you pick a die, you'll notice that there are... Can I do that? No, there's a symbol that says boost. So if you add additional similar colored die, it'll give you an added bonus. So for Filet-O-Fury, it targets one random enemy, which there's only one, doing 9 damage and 6 electrocuted damage. If I add an additional red die, it will target an additional random enemy, so 2, but in this case it's still only going to attack once, and it'll do 12 electrocuted damage. So I'm actually going to do that. There we go. And then attack. So let's see, what's electrocuted do? Electrocuted, I think that's 12, just is going to do 12 damage. So let's see, strength and here. Let's see, how does this work? Target enemy. So this electric focus will electrocute him further, and all allies get an added strength. So I should have done that first. So that first attack could have done more damage. So this one, we're going to heal, and all allies get more armor and more strength. Yeah, we should have done this definitely first. I'm going to target my Mr. Timmy Chameleon because this last die is for the Chameleon, increasing at least his damage. So this is going to apply more electrocution and decrease his damage by 16%. That's pretty cool. So he's going to attack, dealing 8 damage to Piper Faraday. Oh yeah, and electrocution does do damage over time, or at least a dot. I searched the remains for anything useful, and we got a hyena pelt, we got some raw meat, and we got some animal teeth. So we can cook that raw meat. We're not good at cooking, so it's only worth 3 sanity. And now the question is the last location here? Let's take a look. Let's hope our luck is half decent. It is. There it is. That's what we needed. Let's approach the islanders, giving us more experience. We met some wandering islanders who seemed unsurprised by our presence. They asked whether we were here for the strange device that had fallen from the sky. When we asked what they meant, they showed us a metal cylinder with a sigil of Edibot's workshop. Having little use for it, they were more than willing to let us have it. Inside the cylinder, I found a map signed by Edibot workshop. I said my thanks and made my way. So basically, they give you a a map to some hidden treasure. Unfortunately, it's super far away. I kind of have the sanity to do it, but I don't really want to go for it right now. So I'm just going to play the phonograph, and then we're going to go to this location, and we're going to approach the ancient circle. My heart began to beat faster as I came to the final stone circle. I was almost finished. At long last, my map was complete. I could not wait to return to Paris and plan my next expedition to recover the treasure. Success. Okay. So we're going to end this episode right here. Thanks so much for joining me. Once again, this is the Curious Expedition 2. It's, once again, we were showing off the Robots of Lux DLC. It should be set to release tomorrow, Thursday, September 15th, 2022, for about $5 US or $7 Canadian. Thanks so much for joining me today. Check back next week and I'll have another episode following these robot companions. And tomorrow you're going to see the campaign for the Naturalist, the person that can, recruit or tame animals. Anyways, thanks for joining me. Check out the rest of my channel for other videos on the Curious Expedition 2, video games, board games, and other fun things. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.